happy. I wish I go chop with Mercy Johnson. Mercy Johnson go chop with me for inside the same bowl. I wish to chop with Iniedo. I love her so much. I won't make Iniedo chop with me for inside same bowl. I want chop with Don Jazzy. I love him so much. My name is Joyce Mensah. I be HIV positive. I dey live for Germany. I be Ghanaian, but I fit speak pidgin English well because I dey love watch Nigerian movies. I be actress. When I dey do HIV program for Ghana about 10 years ago, I come meet one Nigerian man. His name na Mr. Lolu Akindele. This man supports me well. I come promise am say one day I go Nigeria, go educate my people for there. Now, everybody knows say the HIV no dey kill because we get medication where people dey take. Me, I dey take my medication every day. But the stigma and the rejection where they kill people, maybe the virus. So, I can register an organization called ACAF. I can't get certificates, meaning I go travel everywhere, come educate people about HIV. My main aim is say I go educate the pikin where they go school. Pikins where they go school, make them know say HIV still there around. I get mine through sex. That be why I dey target the young people. They tell them say make them no do wetin I do wey make me get the HIV. I get them for church. I dey sing well for inside church choir where one of our members carry the disease. He know say he get am where they spread am. That time I be just 19 where he can't give me the virus. But now I dey want educate people, make them know say if person gets HIV, if you chop with them, you no go get them. If you sleep with them on the same bed, you no go get them. If you marry them, born pikin with them, you no go get. Pikin no go get. You no go understand now, but if I take time explain, you go understand wetin I dey talk. My people, this be the time Africa will for unite. These people bring many diseases, but Africans they suffer most. HIV where they everywhere. Many people get them. They know they reject them family members, but only we Africans. When African person get HIV, in mama go fit throw am for house, in papa go fit throw am, but Oyibo no they do so. Make we wise up. Make we wise up. So, I can't do program for Ghana for many years. People can't support me. Some people no agree with me, but some agree with me. I can't do program. People they fear say if person get HIV, you chop with them, you go get them. It no be so, because the HIV no dey inside saliva. That be why this man for Ghana, where they do charity work, his name na Ibrahim Quantin, come visit me for my village, come chop with me. The whole world shocked, say this man chop with me. Now he actor Kofi Ajololo, wey be my body, my friend, come invite me for house. As you dey see for the video, he chop with me. Make people understand, say, if person get HIV no dey inside for air. HIV no be anything where you go fit get where you chop with them, with person. For you to understand, say, HIV no be disease where you go get when you dey chop as person wey get the virus. I fit cook for you, you go chop, nothing go happen. No be so person they get the virus. Na sex I say waiting. 80% of people who get HIV, they get them for sex. No be say they go chop with person wey get HIV. My people. Now, this organization where me be the president, it's called ACAF. ACAF means African Community AIDS Foundation. If you be church where they inside Germany, you fit call this number where they the screen. You go visit every church. You no go pay anything, no. You no go pay me anything. You know what thing I want do? I want sacrifice my life. Make people learn. So you think say all these people come chop with me. Make you know say if you get person wey get HIV for your house, you fit chop with them, nothing will happen to you. Okay? So Kofi Ajololo chop with me. Mr. Ibrahim Kwanti chop with me. Now I have a request. I won't come Nigeria. Now I dey inside Germany. I go dey very, very happy. I wish I go chop with Mercy Johnson. Chop with Ngozi Ezienu. I want chop with Kanayo O Kanayo. I want chop with my friend Zab Oji. I want chop with handsome Frederick Leonard. I want chop with Jim Ike. I want chop with Ramsey Noah. In fact, I want chop with all the actors for inside Nigeria. Hey.
All right, thank you very much. That was a video. That was a video from Joyce Mensah. The main reason for that video not be because she just wish to talk with them, right? She want remove that mentality from people, most especially the African people. Say if you eat for inside the same plate with anybody wey get HIV, not mean say you go carry the HIV. That one are the main purpose of that video. So our viewers where they watch her, make una understand them, so that una go know why she actually do the video. Because if people come begin see her, they eat with other celebrities like that, then go actually understand say yes, AIDS or HIV. In order for inside, you drink water, I drink water, you chop for one plate, I chop for one plate. Not be so it dey be. And she make one comment say, the way it be for Africa, not be so it be for outside Africa. Where it be say if person gets HIV/AIDS, family go reject you, then go just throw away you like say you be piece of rat. Okay, so I not be specialist. Make I leave am for the people wey get matter. All right. So right now, I want to give the opportunity to Dr. Henry to educate us more on the questions about HIV/AIDS. So.
All right, good day, everybody. First, I want to start by appreciating the organizers of this program, talking about Mrs. Rose.
Yes.
Like our moderator rightly said, HIV is no longer a death sentence. I want to start on that note. HIV is no longer a death sentence. You know, proud now when someone is diagnosed of it.
So I was ambassador for Ghana for many years, and having at the time I was very young. I was only 24 years when I started in people. I got infected at the age of 19 in a church choir, and I got it through sex. Lucky for me, I got it because many people, when you ask them how they got it, they'll tell you they don't know. Maybe they got it in a salon or somewhere. But only for me, I knew how I got it because I became pregnant at that age. Went to antenatal, and those days, if you are pregnant, you are pregnant as of now. It is mandatory to go through HIV test and that STIs. The reason is protect every unborn child from getting any kind of infection. That the mother has doesn't mean the child should get it. And so I got tested, and I tested positive. And at the time, the one that I was pregnant with was very, very ill. So prior to getting that pregnancy, he had told me severally to abort the pregnancy, but he was not bold enough to tell me why he wanted me to get rid of the pregnancy. But I thank God that I kept that pregnancy. I always say how that I gave birth to is my savior, because there was never going to be any reason for me to even go for an HIV test. I don't think anybody convinced me while growing up to do an HIV test. It is a test that I would never have done willingly. So I did a test, and that was on the 10th September 2007, and it came out positive. It was really traumatic. And then the man died before I had the baby in November in 2007. But I thank God that the child is 13 years. This year he's going to be 4. He tested negative when he was 6 months. And you know, in Africa, they will tell you to repeat the test when the child is 1 year. Tested negative when he was 1 year, and 1.5 years. Again, he tested negative. Before I was okay. Yes. Because if looking at the time I tested, it even delayed, because they told me from the beginning to do the HIV test. I was refusing because I was scared. So the pregnancy even got to the month before I tested. So the antiretroviral drug was given to me only within 2 months, and then they gave me a tablet called in. They told me when I'm in labor or when I'm going to have a CS, there was just one tablet to protect the baby. So I did that. And when the baby came out, gave me some medication for HIV syrup. I think that was used as a post-exposure prophylaxis for the baby. So I gave it to the baby for 2 weeks just to make sure that the child is free. So he will be 14 years now. And I went on to have another child. She also came out negative. I went on to have another child, also negative. And I went on to have another child. So I have four children who are all
4 children. Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Isn't God great?
God is wonderful.
All right, go on.
So, but then people didn't really believe that this was possible. So if you follow my story, if you go back about 2 months ago, I flew to Ghana to conduct an HIV test for my children on live camera, when I invited all the media to come, because the child from where my daughter was schooling, they had sacked her from the school, claiming that yeah, I am HIV, she probably have the virus. She doesn't have it. So to prove that a mother can have negative children, I flew from Germany to Ghana, did my own HIV antibody test showing positive. My 2 children tested in front of camera. And people were amazed, because these are the questions that come every day. How is that possible? How is that possible? Because the child was in your blood, in your stomach. You gave birth. How are you telling us that you have? This is something people don't want to believe. They don't want to understand, because in the past, HIV was a death sentence. And now the advanced medication, which is the antiretroviral drugs, which is serving as treatment as prevention, because condom is no longer working. So when we get many people who are put on the HIV medication and they adhere to their medication like I have done, and their CD4 is very high, viral load 0. Now my viral load is undetectable for the past years now. It is not easy to achieve this, because I take my medication every blessed day. I don't develop the habit of, oh, I have forgotten. Oh, I'm feeling lazy. Oh, it's too much for me. No, I want to. If I want, so I take my medication. So I believe that now that there is COVID-19, I see that they update us every day. That this is where it has gotten to. If you want to travel, you have to make sure you do the COVID test, get vaccinated. But HIV wasn't treated like that. When they realized that the medication has been advanced, even to the point that when you are undetectable, untransmittable, that is what WHO says equal to you. To you means undetectable, means untransmittable, meaning if the thing cannot be found, you cannot give it out. And this is a topic that is very difficult for people to understand. How can you tell us that HIV, and then because you are on medication, you cannot give the virus? And people say it is even possible there is still virus, tiny one hidden somewhere. Nobody is safe, but everybody is safe. For a German doctor to tell me that my partner is safe with me with condom, Germans don't jeopardize people's health.
Of
No,
course.
no. German doctors, they are professional about America. Germany, they will not ask to jeopardize with somebody's health. To the point that the doctor told me, if my partner doesn't understand, I should the hospital. A doctor opened his mouth and told me, now we have monitored you for many years. Never been a day since my viral load has been undetectable. There have never been a day where they said now we have maybe 100 virus or 150 virus. People have gotten even 1 million viruses in their blood. Ma is undetectable. So at this point,
We really apologize for the technical difficulties. Abeg, make una no worry. Farmazaya, to please explain to us wetin be HIV/AIDS. Explain am for us, abeg.
Viewers, thank you for watching and listening. HIV is a virus that causes AIDS. Just like we have different kind of microorganisms that causes diseases, HIV is in the virus family. And the full meaning is human immunodeficiency virus. That is HIV.
Human.
Now, immunodeficiency virus.
Okay.
So just like the Plasmodium falciparum causes malaria, human immunodeficiency virus is what causes the sickness or disease called acquired immune deficiency syndrome, which is AIDS. So HIV is not AIDS, but that is the virus that causes AIDS.
Okay.
Just like the Plasmodium falciparum is not malaria, it is the microorganism that causes malaria.
Okay.
So not everyone that have HIV have AIDS. AIDS is a disease. HIV is a virus. So the way it is the virus have the potential to suppress all your immune system and your body will be prone to diseases. Then at that point, you start having skin infections because your system is now open and prone to fungal infections. At that time, you might have a pneumonia because your immune system could not combat the pneumococcal bacteria that is attacking you. You start coughing. At that time, you could have different sicknesses because your defense system, which is your immune system that fight the microorganisms that cause you disease, have been suppressed. It's just like somebody come and demolish your fence. So any kind of thief can come through the back door, the window, the front door. So as we live our life every day, we have a defense system in our body that prevents us from having infections. It prevents us from having a respiratory tract infections. It prevents us from having a dermatological skin infections. It prevents us from different things. But when the virus gets into your system, it goes into your blood system and suppress all those your defense systems. Then it's at that point you have why they call it acquired, because it is not natural. There are different kind of immunosuppressive disorders. Some of them is not acquired, but because they call this acquired, is because maybe it is transmitted through sex. That means it was something you acquired. It was something you made an effort to go and get. So when that happens, the virus starts destroying your immune systems that is when you have a problem. That is when you have a sickness. But like the Miss Joyce said, if medications are able to suppress the virus and reduce the viral load in your blood system to the point that your immune system is not suppressed, you will not have AIDS. Yes, you will test positive to the virus, but you will not have AIDS. You will not transmit it to people. You can eat with people, you can associate with people, you can hug them, you can kiss them. You will not transmit it because your viral load is basically zero, or what we call insignificant. Because for even a microorganism to cause a disease, even for malaria parasites to even cause you malaria, there have to be a what we call the serum level. There have to be a level of that organism in your blood system. So when the HIV virus is reduced, maybe from medications, is suppressed to the point that the concentration in your blood is not even able to show, you cannot actually transmit it to your children, because the only way you can transmit a disease to unborn children is there is what they call the placenta barrier. That is where you supply blood to your children who are growing up. And the children have their defense system as well. So their natural defense system will fight it. And when they are born, it is reversed. They don't have it. So, but for that to happen, you, the patient, will have to have been in a system. Maybe you are constantly taking your medication. Okay. And that is where I come in as a pharmacist. We have what we call medication therapy management, because why medications don't work most times in Nigeria or Africa, it's not because the medication is fake, it's lack of compliance. Because people only think they are sick when they have symptoms.
Okay.
So many people start treating HIV when they start having cough, when they start having rashes on this, when they start having symptoms. But if you are somebody who can be compliant, take your medication every day, and go for maybe test every 90 days or 30 days, they take your blood level and see that your serum concentration of the virus is not able to cause a disease, you don't have a problem. I have many HIV patients as patients here. There are many. I have many of them that have 4 children. Some of them even have 8 or 10 children. They are here. So they have been living, especially the men, with different women anyway. And the women did not contract it. The children did not contract it because they are not transmittable. They don't have enough in their system to transmit it. So that's what it is.
Thank you very much, Farmer Zaya. How I for fit come out now, can't they explain wetin I don't know to everybody? That's why then they talk say, who get person pass who get money. All right. So Farmer Zaya, thank you very much. So I would allow Joy to continue with her story before our able doctor go explain to us the remaining parts of the whole thing. Okay, so Joyce, over to you. Let me believe that this earphone or whatever go let us hear you. The world must hear you, whether the devil likes it or not. They must hear your story, and they must believe and know that you are not alone, and they also, some of them in your shoes, are not alone too. And they not see as you fine, as beauty just carry you. All right, over to you, my darling. Go on.
Okay. I am so glad to hear from Miss Taya to explain the public, because I have been explaining this for more than a decade. By time people think that when you are speaking, you are out of to get sympathy for you, or out of selfish interest. Let me use the word interest. They think that if you are saying undetectable, I mean, if the virus is undetectable, it means you cannot transmit it. They think because they are looking for boyfriend. Like I always post on my Facebook. Yeah, they say I'm now lacking men, but I don't lack men. I'm telling you. It's not about men, because if I want to sell my body, I will not even disclose my HIV status, because I know people fear it a lot.
Exactly.
So it would be very, very helpful if we get many people like to explain for that the message not coming from me. It is research, and it's something that the WHO it said that if your viral load, if you continue to take action religiously, not like he said, not only when you have symptoms. Today I have headache, then you rush and go and take it. It's not paracetamol for headache. It is something that you have to take every day for the past 14 years. Since I was in Ghana educating people, there had never been a day where somebody would say they've rushed Joyce to the hospital because she has developed some serious infection because of HIV. I am not boasting about my health, because as human beings as we are just like vehicles. Today you're on the road, tomorrow you are down. So I am not boastful of my good health, but I am
But we
boastful.
thank God for the knowledge and strength and grace.
Yeah, that's why they say knowledge is power. The moment I was told, those days I was only aiming at miracle. When doctor says, there are medications, I don't even a word. All I want to hear is somebody who will tell me there is this pastor here who can. I remember a lady who said she should sponsor me to go to Pastor TB that cure me. But to hear Pastor T is not even there to cure me. So life is not just about that. Some to be submissive, you have to we have advice, especially if you have a condition, you heed to doctor's advice, do what you're supposed to do. So I thank God that for taking this medication for the past 14 years, I don't go on a break to wait for the virus to rise up again before I begin to take my medication. No. But what we are talking about now is that now that we know that HIV is not a death sentence, now it is the stigma. It is human beings that are killing us, not the virus again. So one day I posted on my page that WHO organization, we have found medication for HIV, but what we haven't found is medication for stigma. Because this virus is here, it's not killing us, but people are dying in pain. As we are doing this video, I have promised people I'm never going to show their pictures on Facebook. I'm never going to play their voice messages. Come and see people who are crying on my phone every day. Sister Joyce, I have HIV. Sister Joyce, I can't even tell my mother. Sister Joyce, what can I do? People are dying in pain. Imagine if everybody is able to disclose even to one person in their family. They will be supported. My mother used to support me. Joyce, get up and take your medication. Those days we set alarm clock. I used to take my medicine morning 9 a.m., evening 9 p.m. But now things have changed. Here in Europe, I take it in a day. So those days you stick to the time. So if it's 9 a.m., I take it exactly at 9 a.m. That I have family support. But what about somebody who is not able to tell anybody they are afraid of death? Because at that point when you are diagnosed with HIV, when you sleep in the night, you don't see anything. You only see remain in your eye. It's like magic. Skeletons come from nowhere. These are the dreams you have. Yes, you only dream of skeletons. These are the psychological impacts of knowing of your HIV status. That is why I know now. I understand why most people don't want to get tested. So those days I sleep, and I cannot sleep in the night because all I see is, I'm going to die one day. I'm going to be like a skeleton, and they'll put adult diapers on me, and I'll do this, and I'll do that, and I'll fall sick, and I'll have all these rashes on my skin. I was always crying, always in pain.
And this is more than a decade you are still alive.
Yes.
Isn't that amazing, people?
It's amazing.
Isn't that amazing?
It's amazing.
And with 4 children.
4 children.
You have 4 children, yeah.
Yes, and our people are still rejecting. But you know what? I said to myself, it's about time I wake up. At a point, I want to deny my status. You ask me, so I never have HIV. Go away from, because I began to deny. But at the time, God, as I was denying my status, I never deny my medication. I will come and deny in public and come home medication. So over all these years, now I decided, no, I will not lie. Even at the point where I was lying, still rejecting me. What is the point in lying? I know it's my privacy. Everybody's health status is their privacy. You choose to disclose it, and nobody can put a gun in your head because each one of us has a problem. walking about with a lot of problems. But this is the time I say, women, we are suffering too much. Somebody
I want
needs
to
to
tell you
need to
something.
rise.
I want to tell you something, Joyce.
Yeah, I'm listening.
I admire your courage. Honestly speaking, I admire your courage because a lot of people are out there hiding. They are even not HIV, they already have the AIDS itself.
Yeah,
But still,
yeah.
they are not bold as you
No,
are to
no.
tell the public, to let even their close relations
Mm-hmm.
know that they have it. So
Yes.
I truly admire your courage.
Thank you so much.
All right.
That the whole world should hear. So if you go on the internet to read about you equal to you, we say we are undetectable, so we cannot pass on a virus. Why do people still reject us? The fact is that even though all these informations are there, nobody has seen physical evidence. That why are the people who say they are undetectable and they cannot infect anybody? But we are all hiding. So if we are hiding, who are to make the difference in the world? Truth be told, truth be, if everybody who is HIV positive is able to adhere to their medication like I have done, then the next generation, our another coming with the virus. You know why? Because if you take some medication, you cannot pass on the virus to another person.
Okay.
So why
Do you
can't we
know
all
what I
join?
want?
All you said?
Do you know what I want to do now? You made a
No.
statement that when you are telling people about it, they think it's because you need a boyfriend. When you are telling people about it, they think you are trying to make it look presentable to people,
Yeah.
palatable to
Yeah.
people. You want to, they think you just want to tell them what they want to
They
hear
want to
in
hear.
order to bring them closer to you, right?
Yeah.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to let you keep quiet now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
we will have Dr. Henry
Henry.
tell
Yeah.
us more about it, and
Great.
Famazaya to tell us more about it so that they can hear from other people and know that.
Great.
And to let our viewers know, Joyce is from Ghana. I've never seen her or met her before, so that you people don't think that, oh, we planned it. No, I have never seen her. I saw her video and I was touched, right?
Yeah.
And Famazaya is in the US. Dr. Henry is in Nigeria, is in one of the best hospitals in Asaba. He knows what he's doing, right? So he will be there to tell us everything about it. So you will hear from another person. Okay, Dr. Henry, over to you, sir.
All right, very much. I believe you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you, but if you can raise the volume a little bit more.
Sorry for the network problem because it's critical for where I'm coming from. So
Yes, we understand. So if you can raise the volume a little bit more, please.
the first, because of our network, I'll be very fast. I don't know
All right.
how much network will allow me. But first, I want to appreciate Mrs. Joy. It's not easy. It's not an easy for the kind of campaign she's taking around the world. Now, having said that, number one, quickly I went out the difference between HIV and AIDS. Like rightly has said, I want to join with that. In a clear terms, you can be HIV positive and don't have AIDS. Now, what is the difference between the two of them? HIV is human immunodeficiency virus. That is the virus. Ms. Joyce, when she was trying to explain terms of compliance. Now, when you are HIV positive and you keep to your drugs, like as you can see now, she's very healthy, well-looking, well-fed, good-looking. There's no comorbidity, nothing you can see around her that this one, you said, she's HIV positive. Now, what it implies is that the condition has not progressed to AIDS. AIDS simply means that the immune system is now, it can now accommodate comorbidity. Example, tuberculosis, pneumonia, herpes zoster, a lot of infections. You see, the person starts having all infections. At that stage, we said it has progressed to AIDS. That's acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. It's a syndrome. It has a lot of that's number one. Secondly, I also want to re-emphasize on the issue of, I discovered from my practice for some time. I worked with in Nigeria what they call for clinical care and research, triple CRON. Is a body responsible for management of HIV, pregnancy, HIV, undiagnosed and all. Now, one of the biggest challenge we discovered, um, we'll get what we call serodiscordant compo. A situation where one partner is positive and the other partner is not positive. We'll get to that aspect. Then I'll tell you some of this and what we always do. But secondly, I want to point out one ways you can get this. It majorly deal with 4 fluids. Number 1 fluid is blood. That's number 1, like Ms. Joyce said, rightly said. The blood is about 80 to 90%. Second one is the breast milk.
Okay.
We also talk about that, how it's possible for a HIV person to be pregnant, and the child not being positive. The child will be delivered negative. We have seen it even in Africa. If you can do it even in the remote area, of course you should know what is obtainable over there. That's number 2. Number 1 is blood. Number 2 is breast milk. Number 3 is semen through the sex. Semen. And number 4 is fluid. So these major 4 fluids are the commonest way of contacting this virus.
Okay.
Another one is, what are the ways that we cannot get it? For example, you cannot get HIV, like she said, by hugging, by using the same spoon with someone that just finished eating, of course, there are research that kissing a bit has a very low viral load, insignificant, that cannot transmit. In fact, as a matter of fact, we discover, like where we are now in Africa, they said when you share the same clipper with someone, like maybe as a man, you can salon is not clipper. Most times you want to avoid it. The problem is not sharing your clipper or you sharing that thing with someone at that particular time. It's not HIV because research has shown that if you go use another person's clipper, it will take almost 90 years for the virus to replicate, to show in the blood that the person is HIV positive. To show you how insignificant.
90 years. Okay.
90 years. So it can tell you that it's quite long. So that's why when you meet us in the hospital, you tell us that to shave your head, this needle and all that. It's almost possible. We don't get to tempt it because research has shown that before it will take almost 90 years. We have the research on the internet.
Okay, can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? If you said it can be transmitted through blood. Now, if someone goes to the hairdressing, what do they call it? Hair salon to cut their hair and got injured, and there's a blood on the clipper. So if the next person uses it, are you trying to say that that next person cannot get it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why we talk about the concept of viral load and CD4 count. I'll give you a true pure clinical example. For instance, now, as a lady, you go to a salon and then you just have a minor needle prick. Look at the word I'm using, minor needle prick.
Minor, yeah.
Yes. What research has shown is that it is almost nearly not possible. HIV virus from that needle prick. There are a lot of things to debate around it, but the summary of it is that it's almost not possible.
Okay.
But it has to do with this transmission, has to do with viral load.
Okay.
Viral load must be significant to be able to be picked by the antibody, because the test you are doing is an antibody test. It should be able to be significant enough to be able to pick the antibody. So it's almost not impossible. If you take a sample, if you have 10 HIV patients positive, they can clearly tell you that their major point of contact was through either blood transfusion, sexual intercourse, or children. Now, if you come to our environment, you will know what we are going through. You see a lot of course, we had one last week in our hospital. A woman did not know triplets. The children were all positive.
Oh.
As at 6 months they came to, because they were not aware, they were not informed. So there are a lot. That's why I'm so happy about this campaign. It's something that should come close this our environment, a lot actually been going on. That's like I said.
Okay, so Farmazaya, you have a question.
Okay, my question is, do we have affordable antiretrovirals in Nigeria
Ah,
currently, or do we have
sorry,
like agencies that support the buying of
I
this
forgot to
medication?
mention.
Yeah.
I forgot totally to mention. It's totally free. That's the beauty
Hmm.
of the whole thing. It's totally free. There is nowhere they are selling antiretroviral drug in Nigeria. It's totally free. Just that
Oh.
another challenge we have is that, of course, because of the nature of the illness, most of them don't like taking drugs from their place. And also there is a plan. So what we do now, like most of the patients we have in Delta, in Asaba, there are patients coming from Wari, Abo, Benin. Why people in Asaba? But they have ART centers they have in Asaba. They have almost every local government. Every local government they have a center. And these drugs, including the
Oh,
inclusifications, are totally free. There's nothing money. People as organizations, abroad, they are spending heavily dollars, billions of dollars to provide these medications free for them. So it's totally free. In fact, as a matter of fact, if you're HIV positive and you are pregnant, it's also free, both for the baby and everything. So they are really encouraging people to, it's just that people are not owning up. It's totally free, free everywhere.
I heard from somebody that he gets some nurses or some doctors where then go collect them from hospital, go they sell and give some patients. So
It's,
how they'll take track those
true.
kind of people down?
The problem is that, of course, you cannot remove you cannot solve human problem. But my advice has always been, why did you go to meet the doctor? Why did you go to meet the nurse? They have centers that are administering this drug. Most of them will now go behind because they don't want to come out public. They go behind and meet the doctor or the nurse. So
Exactly.
eventually you will be extorted.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't want to be extorted, like I said now, in fact, the government is strictly against it. If you are caught doing that, is a criminal offense.
Okay.
So it is a matter of fact, they don't hold the drug. You can't even, nobody can bring the drug for you at home. You come to the center, there are trained personnel, not just doctors, nurses, pharmacists. It's a complete clinic of its own. Triple CRN is a complete clinic on its own. So it's not just HIV they are managing. Why did they do? For instance, now, like I told you, one of the things we look at for people that have HIV is cough,
Okay.
chronic cough. So when someone, a HIV positive, for over 2-3 months and the person is having cough, it gives you a signal as a doctor that this patient is already progressing. As a matter of fact, you start screening that patient for TB. And once you start screening that patient for TB, including those screenings are also free. You are not paying for them. In fact, Gene Expert, there's a test we do for them. Gene Expert is expensive. If ordinarily you go and do it in Nigeria, it's about the cost of 20,000 to 25,000 or so. I stand to, but these tests are free, as a matter of fact, as I'm telling you, in almost all the federation. I've been to about 3 states now. I've practiced medicine in about 3 states, and I can tell you it is totally free. It is free. So
Wow.
encourage them
At
to
least
go to
something
government
is free in
facilities.
Nigeria.
Yes, it's free. It's free.
Okay.
It's free.
I'm so glad to hear
Totally
that.
free.
All right, our viewers, if you have any more questions, throw it now. Otherwise, we're going to call it a day. Farmazaya, do you have more questions? Or yes, somebody
No,
asked.
okay, go ahead. Let us look at the questions from our viewers.
Okay, somebody asked Dr. Henry, do you work in the Nordica Asaba? Is that a section or I don't know what in that one be? Okay. If you want to answer it,
The
if you don't want,
person,
it's okay.
the person should be
I'm
living
with
in
us, our
Italy.
specialist hospital.
Nautical is an Italian word. Maybe the person have been in Italy for a long time and
Okay,
don't
what's the meaning?
really.
I don't even know.
Nautical is an Italian word. The person have been in Italy for a long time and use the word
Okay.
nautical. Let me check. I hear it from Italians.
Okay.
So that person that asked the
I'm
question
ready
must
to.
be in Italy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So let's see if there are other questions. If not, then we're going to
Okay,
round
yes,
everything up
infertility
now.
clinic. Yes, that's where I work. It means infertility. I've checked.
Uh,
Yeah. It's an Italian
Yes,
word.
okay.
that's where I work. FMC, Asaba Specialist Hospital,
All
in
right.
obstetrics
How
and
do we
gynecology.
prevent
Yes.
the nearest person from? Okay. So somebody say no, not with this one. Somebody say, how do we prevent the nearest person from contracting HIV, e.g., husband and wife?
Okay. Okay. One, the what we always tell them. I'm going to tell you practical things. Now,
Mhm.
that's why we emphasize on is in two ways. One is if the woman's viral load is almost minimal, not she's not there's what's called infertility stage, carrier stage. That means at that stage the woman cannot transmit the virus. Of course, we encourage safe sex. But but if the woman is not religious and not compliant with her medication, no to unprotected sexual intercourse.
Okay.
So the catch is dependent on the state of the infection. Is the woman viral load okay? Is her CD4 count okay? That means
Okay.
she cannot transmit the infection. So more importantly, if especially if they are married, they are couples, they need follow up in the hospital
Okay.
by by the doctor. So what we do eventually when they come is for us to in fact, if for one of the things we do for sero discordant couple is that the partner test every 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
For some of them, of course, fortunately, we have some of them that are compliant, that are religious. Of course, they've come to understand their faith that my wife is positive, I'm negative, or my husband is positive, I'm negative. So every 3 months, we encourage them to come for checkup, both partners, to so that we can pick it as early as possible.
Okay.
So the in the nutshell, it depends on the state of the viral load. And secondly, if they are not partners, of course, we always preach unprotected sexual intercourse is a risk. That's the
Okay.
major route where people get these things. Avoid them. If you can,
Okay.
if you're not abstain, make sure you use protection. We have a lot of good condoms out there, and in the pharmacy shop. Use as much as you can, but don't endanger yourself. Just know that for any time you're having a sexual contact with any positive patient, especially the uncompliant ones that are not on medication, is
Mm-hmm.
a high risk to power 10. Is a
Hmm.
high risk adventure. So we wouldn't
Okay.
want you to,
So,
you know,
our dear brother, I hope you hear. Oh. So the nearest person near you be husband or wife, not mean say the person go carry am, but the whole work be on the person wey carry am hand. Be say the person no get intention to pass and give you, you no go get am. Why? Because the person go dey take im own medication religiously, e no go dey miss am to make the virus weak, and also dey follow all the protocols wey dem say make dem follow, then e no go pass am to the other person. Na only those people wey dem know say dem get am already and dem get the in ten tion to pass am give to other people, dem no go tell you. Na those people dey quick dey pass am give people. And also, abeg, if you get am, no dey hide am because e no dey kill. I know say the stigma wey once people hear say you get am, dem go come dey avoid you. Na that stigma and the rejection na im dey kill people now, na im make people dey keep am to themselves. So general public, please don't reject anyone with HIV positive result. Don't reject them. They are human being like you, and they have every right to be happy like you. Abeg, na there my advice reach. So make I let Farmer give im own talk or question or advice, then we call it a day. All right, sir.
This is more of a question to Dr. Henry. When I was in Nigeria about 20 years ago, we used to work with USAID, and every pharmacy was given a section of it free condoms for people. You are allowed to collect as many as you want for free, and it's supplied by USAID. I don't know, does your HIV center in your hospital, do they have a provision for people that have not even contacted the regular human beings? That do they give out free condoms still, or do they have centers in every state where that is done? I don't know if it's still applicable.
okay, like I rightly said, I told you that with the The current policy now, like using Delta State as a case study, they are doing it at the local government level.
Okay.
Okay.
Fortunately, my hospital happened to have one of the centers and almost the headquarter of the centers. Now, what they do is that
Okay.
we have all these their condom. In fact, I saw them last month. They were doing this their campaign and all that using female condom. That was actually their goal as at that last month in my hospital. They were just trying to encourage the use of female condom to prevent HIV. So it's still there. These things are still there, but just that, of course, you don't expect it to be as common, compared to your days.
Okay.
Things are getting a bit, a bit. Economy is getting so good. You can agree with me. So they don't make it that free again, of course, but they will always place it as strategic points, especially during their outreaches. If they go for outreaches, they make these things free for
Okay.
for populace to benefit from.
All right. Thank you very much. Okay. So, did he answer your question?
Yes, it is, and I thank anyone who listens. So you can ask wherever you are to know where you can get these resources. I believe maybe in Agbo, Central Hospital Agbo, they will
General
have
hospital,
a
yes.
general hospital where they do
Yes,
it,
they
or
have
the
a
local,
very big center,
or the
very
health
big.
center. I don't know. Yes.
Okay. Somebody is asking, how do HIV patients prevent her unborn kids from having it?
The first question we should ask is the patient compliant with our medication? If
Mm-hmm.
the patient is compliant with our medication, it assesses about 90% of the questions
Mm-hmm.
which implies that the possibility of transferring that to the baby is almost less than 10%. That's number. Number two is that at the point of delivery, there's what is called birth preparedness, birth plan.
Mm-hmm.
They must draw a
Okay.
birth plan between the patient and the doctor, and the birth plan will boil down to the patient's viral load. Like I rightly said, the choice of delivery very important. Part of the things in that birth plan include the route of delivery. Is it through cesarean section? Is it through normal delivery? And these choices will be informed by the patient via the CD4 count and the viral load. Okay, so if the viral load, like I said, is minimal, they may not be able to transfer to the baby, but it's a protocol that for every baby, baby delivered of a positive woman must go through this 6 weeks nevirapine, therapy. The essence of this nevirapine is to reduce. Research has shown that administration of this nevirapine within the first 6 weeks has reduced significantly the number that should have otherwise been positive. So we'll find out that if there are 10 babies that will undergo this therapy, about 9/10 will come out negative. So that's why is a protocol, especially in our area in Africa, is a protocol for every baby, 6 weeks nevirapine. And we've been getting results with it. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question. Farmazaya, so give your own general advice to our general public, to the young people, most especially the youth, young girls and boys, where they think, say, this life, tomorrow, not day. So give them your fatherly advice and advice as a farm. I muted you. Let me unmute.
My advice to listeners is that first of all, like it has been said over and over again, HIV is not a death sentence. Number one. Number two, if you are having a relationship to someone you are not married to, and the person that you're having a relationship with, you are not married yet, so you are not even ready to have children, always have it at the back of your mind that unprotected sex is not only to prevent pregnancy. You should have it at the back of your mind that HIV is still there. You should stay protected. So you should not only be conscious of coronavirus to wear mask. It's like you wearing a mask. You should always stay protected. Be conscious of it because it is something waiting for you. Number one. Number two, when people are trying to get married, people are only conscious of genotype, whether you are ASAA or SS or something. No. People should always, like, in the state of Georgia, it used to be before you get married to somebody, one of the things is that both of you will have HIV test.
Mm-hmm.
They did it so that you know where you are and include it in your planning as a couple, how to live as a couple,
Mm-hmm.
so that you decide whether to marry the person and you have plans to keep it at the serum concentration at 0 level. So always have it at the point back of your mind that genotype test is not the only test required. Both of you should have HIV test just between yourselves.
Okay.
And if the other person is positive, it is not a death sentence. You can still marry. But both of you should work hard to keep it from infecting the other partner who is negative and infecting your unborn children who will come later in life.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be one of the challenges you have to live with in life.
Mm-hmm.
But to crown it all, compliance with prevention and compliance with medication if you are positive is the most effective way to reduce the even the depression that comes with it or the stigma or anything. Compliance is very necessary.
All right. Thank you very much. So viewers, una don hear, compliance is very very necessary. If dem carry medicine give you, no wait until you get headache before you drink am. According to Joyce, she say the medicine no be paracetamol or panadol for you to go drink am when you get headache or cough. Na medicine wey you, if you know say you wan stay alive and look healthy, you will need to take this medication every day according to how dem say make you take am. And also you need to always, at the times wey dem give una, to always go for your checkup.